Hello and welcome. Tonight, police warn organizers of Free Nnamdi Kanu protest against potential violence as Surulere insists demonstration will hold. Chinese government commends DSS, Office of the NSA and the military for rescuing 4 abducted citizens. Tension in Surulere as residents protest government's plan to build a cemetery in the area. And Israel launches strikes on Gaza as IDF and Hamas trade blame over ceasefire violation. We begin from Abuja, where the Nigeria police has issued a stern warning that it will take decisive action against anyone or any group that uses protests over the continued detention of the indigenous people of Biafra leader Nnamdi Kanu as a pretext to incite violence, carry offensive weapons, vandalize property, or engage in acts that could lead to loss of life or injury. In a statement signed by the Force Public Relations Officer, CSP Benjamin Hundeyin, the police emphasized that offenders will be arrested, investigated, and prosecuted under relevant laws, including those related to public order, violent conduct, and terrorism where applicable. The CSP Hundeyin further cautioned individuals or groups planning demonstrations to avoid Aso Rock Villa and its surroundings, citing an existing court order that prohibits protests within those areas. He noted that the Federal High Court in Abuja in the case between the Federal Republic of Nigeria and Surulere and 4 others on October the 17th issued a restraining order against any form of protest within and around the presidential villa and adjoining areas. Now, the Force PRO therefore strongly advised all intending protesters and counter-protest groups to steer clear of restricted zones and refrain from any actions that could provoke confrontation or disturb public peace. Meanwhile, human rights activist and former presidential candidate Omoyele Sowore has vowed to go ahead with a planned #Free Nnamdi Kanu Now protest, despite a federal high court order restricting demonstrations around major government institutions in Abuja. The protest, scheduled for Monday, October the 20th, is aimed at demanding the release of the indigenous people of Biafra leader Nnamdi Kanu, who has been in detention since his extradition from Kenya in 2021 and is currently facing terrorism-related charges. In a post on X, formerly known as Twitter, Sowore stated that his team of 115 lawyers would challenge any purported court order once officially served. He maintained that the protest would proceed as a peaceful and lawful demonstration, emphasizing the constitutional right to freedom of expression and assembly. And still on the planned protest for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, a civil society organization, the Northern Coalition Group, NCG, has urged the federal government not to yield to pressure from protesters demanding the release of the IPOB leader, Nnamdi Kanu, warning against any attempt to circumvent the law. While speaking at a news conference in Abuja, the group's national coordinator, Comrade Jamilu Charanchi, said the ongoing agitation led by certain civil society activists was a deliberate attempt to intimidate the judiciary and destabilize the nation's fragile peace.
It is morally reprehensible and politically irresponsible that some individuals who claim to be Democrats are openly advocating for the release of a man whose violent successionist agenda has claimed over 1,200 innocent lives, including more than 400 security personnel, banned over 100 police stations, and caused the destruction of property worth over 450 billion across the southeast. CNG warns that no amount of street protest or emotional manipulation will erase these atrocities or compel the Nigerian state to compromise the rule of law. The coalition of northern groups, therefore, condemns unequivocally the planned protest for Kanu's release, describing them as reckless, provocative, and a direct affront to Nigerian sovereignty and judiciary. 2. Urge the federal government to see Kanu's trial to its logical conclusion, ensuring that justice is neither delayed nor diluted under political pressure. 3. Calls on security agencies to remain alert and proactive in preventing any breakdown of law and order during this orchestrated protest. Demands an immediate investigation into individuals and organizations funding, coordinating, or promoting these destabilizing protests under the guise of human rights advocacy.
To security, the People's Republic of China has commended the Nigerian government for the successful rescue of 4 of its citizens who were kidnapped in Kwara State. The operation, which was a joint effort by the Office of the National Security Advisor, the Department of State Services, the DSS, the Nigerian Army and the Nigerian Police, led to the safe recovery of the abducted victims. Speaking in Abuja during the formal handover ceremony of the DSS medical facility, the Chinese ambassador to Nigeria, Mr. Yu Dunhai, represented by the consul of the Chinese embassy, Mr. Wang Jun, praised the DSS for its swift, intelligence-driven operation that ensured the timely and unharmed rescue of the Chinese nationals. The rescued victims were freed on Saturday, October the 18th. Residents of Babs Animashaun Street and adjoining roads in Surulere, Lagos have staged a protest against the Lagos State government's plan to establish a cemetery within their community. The protesters argued that the proposed site is surrounded by canals and becomes severely waterlogged during rainfall, making it unsuitable for such a project. They are therefore calling on the state government to abandon the plan and instead focus on improving local infrastructure in that area. Our correspondent, Chris Lems, reports.
A stakeholders meeting over the proposed siting of a cemetery on Babs Animashaun Street in Surulere, a high-density residential area, ends in disagreement. While the state government appeals that the project be given a chance, the people would not have it.
Nobody likes the one close to you. Nobody likes the one close to a cemetery.
Following that meeting, residents of Babs Animashaun, Natufe and surrounding streets around the streets united in their opposition to the Lagos State government controversial plan to establish a cemetery right in the middle of their community.
They called me on Monday that we are going to have meeting at Bamboo Hall, Eco Club. I said the notice is short, that they should reschedule it, and they said no. And they did it with not our awareness. We are the person that the thing is affecting. So they carry people from Orile, from Shita, from Mushi, from Amukoko to come and hold the meeting. And they said 60% of us has agreed. We didn't agree at all.
Their primary fear is deeply rooted in the area's geography. The proposed site is low-lying, surrounded by canals, and becomes severely waterlogged, often flooded with every rainfall.
And the man was comparing the cemetery with the cemetery in Maryland in USA. I said, how can you compare death with sleep? It's not the same thing. Once there's a cemetery, we know what cemetery is in Nigeria. Kidnapping, armed robbery, all vices that you can think of will happen. And apart from that, there will be devaluation on the properties, no safety. Look at this place, it's waterlogged. When it rains, the water gets here. We're breaking down our house. We are rebuilding it because of water.
For these families, the plan is not just an inconvenience, it's a terrifying prospect. They argue that burying bodies in such an unstable environment poses a severe public health risk and only compounds their existing infrastructure crisis.
And our community has deficiency. We don't have good water, we are waterlogged. If you bury somebody, you want to bring epidemic, you want to kill us, that is what we are telling them. We say, look at it. Canada surrounded us here. They have not found one solution to that. We are living, managing. We are the only people who are doing everything for ourselves. Unfortunately, they want to force cemetery onto us, and we are saying no.
Until this unpopular proposal is withdrawn, the residents have vowed to escalate their rejection. For them, the implementation of this cemetery would be a heartbreaking blow to their community and a terrifying failure of governance. And their message is that their community is for the living, not the dead. Chris Alems, Channels Television News.
In Kaduna State, members from various opposition political parties have defected to the ruling All Progressives Congress, citing the performance of Governor Uba Sani as their reason for joining the party. The defection ceremony held at the Murtala Mohammed Square drew the attendance of serving National and State Assembly members, prominent political figures, and their supporters.
It is a carnival-like atmosphere at the Murtala Mohammed Square in the Kaduna State capital as thousands of opposition members converged to formally join the ruling All Progressive Congress. The event, being hosted by Governor Uba Sani, has in attendance the National Chairman of the APC, Professor Nantawe Yowatsa, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Retired Honorable Tajuddin Abbas. Among the defectors are 6 House of Reps and State Assembly members from the People's Democratic Party and Labour Party, alongside their supporters. They say their decision is driven by Governor Uba Sani's inclusive leadership and developmental strides across the state.
We're sharing, Mr. President, and everybody in Nigeria now. Kaduna State now is not a one-party state. It's the message to Mr. President. Mr. President should go and rest and sleep well in the villa. That Kaduna State is now APC. Kaduna State is coming into inshallah in 2027.
Receiving the decampees, Governor Uba Sani says the APC remains a national party for all Nigerians and assures the new members of equal opportunity.
Those that have decamped to our party today, that APC is a family in Kaduna, one family. We don't discriminate. Those that have joined our party today and those that have been with us since the creation of this party will have the same privilege, everything the same, without any discrimination.
Party leaders described the development as a testament to Governor Uba Sani's politics of inclusion.
Thank you for uniting the people of Kaduna State. This template must have a national coloration, must be replicated in our states. What you've done, that magic touch, that Midas touch, share it with your brothers. You've done wonderfully, very well.
I want to seize this opportunity to thank the governor of Kaduna State for being a rallying point of unity in diversity in Kaduna State. The chairman of our great party mentioned it. He was instrumental to the peace and unity and stability we are enjoying today in Zone 3. Today, every political actor in Zone 3 is speaking only one language, and that language is APC.
The highlight of the event is a presentation of the APC flag to the new decampees. With the latest defections, political observers say the ruling APC in Kaduna is consolidating its base ahead of the 2027 elections.
In part 2, after the break, University of Lagos alumni honors outstanding members with achievement awards at 55th anniversary dinner. Please stay with us. Welcome back. If you have just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, broadcasting live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. Police warn organizers of Free Nnamdi Kanu protest against potential violence as Surulere insists demonstration will hold. Chinese government commends DSS, Office of the NSA, and the military for rescuing 4 abducted citizens. Tension in Surulere as residents protest government's plan to build a cemetery in the area. And Israel launches strikes on Gaza as IDF and Hamas trade blame over ceasefire violation. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is expected to release the timetable for the 2027 general elections before the end of this year. INEC has also warned that electoral campaigns should not start until it gives political parties the necessary guidelines and clearance to do so. However, the spring season of political intrigues and maneuvers continues. Tonight, Babajide Ogunsoro, who is the founder of Leadership by Data and Channels Television's chief data analyst, is right here to share more facts and vital insights on what the evolving political map now looks like. Babajide, great to have you again on the News at 10.
Good evening, Ayatunde.
All right, so election timetable from INEC, of course, will be coming up by the end of this year. Now, before we look at the permutations, and of course the combinations for 2027, how similar, or should we say different, are the current political maneuvers compared to 2013 and, of course, 2017?
It's all a matter of perspective, Ayatunde. It's just like a game of cards, and we'll get back into what sort of games are we going to be likely seeing. But if we want to really compare this season to another season, what I prefer us to do is we're looking at 2013, that election that brought in President Buhari in 2015. So we're in the fourth quarter of 2025 now. Going by INEC standards, we're about 17 months to the next election, 17 months. So what we can do is take a look at the top stories 17 months away from 2015. Similar period, so quarter four of 2013. What were the big stories? One of the biggest stories was the passing of the founding chairman of the PDP, Solomon Lau. A lot of people felt that was the beginning of the end of the PDP. We remember that other story exactly in October as well, 2013, when the G7 governors went to the villa to meet with President Jonathan to try and find a way to resolve the crisis. However, what happened after that meeting in October? Just about 60 days after, in November, the G7 governors left. So we see this is what exactly happened 17 months to the 2015 election. Now we are also approximately 17 months to the 2027 election. However, we're not seeing G5 or G7. What we're actually seeing is politicians moving away from the opposition party to the ruling party. Again, 2013, it was significantly different. It was politicians moving away from the ruling party to the APC. So what we see is it's similar but different in a similar way, just that it's now more or less the reverse.
So how about in 2017?
So 2017, again, the trend wasn't so different because then you had President Buhari who had won the 2015 election, and then 2017 we were getting ready for the 2019 election. So what people are talking about right now is President Tinubu is coming to the end of his first term. What exactly happened when President Jonathan as well was running for his 2015 election? And what we clearly see is, compared to the momentum that was against the ruling party in 2013, the momentum is now with the ruling party in 2025. So significantly different situations, even though the strategy seems to be similar.
So, now business organizations often use the terms such as market share and revenue growth to measure their performance. Now, what does the metric for politicians, look like, and their parties? What does it look like this time around?
So globally, there are usually three things. It's performance, then your perception, and then your popularity. Three cards: performance, perception, popularity. For developed economies, performance comes really top. For less developed countries, especially in Africa, it's really about your popularity and your perception. And so perception and popularity still shapes a lot of things. Going back to what you had talked about, we remember that 2015 election, despite the G7 governors, in southern Nigeria, President Jonathan still had the majority in the 2015 election. So when the results were polled by INEC, the result shows that President Jonathan then had 9 million votes across the 17 states in southern Nigeria versus candidate Buhari's 3 million votes. What made President Jonathan lose that election was really because of what happened across northern Nigeria, where then sitting President Jonathan was only able to get 3.7 million votes, when candidate Buhari then got 12.3 million votes. So significantly different things. We really don't talk about performance. It's really about your popularity and your perception, because your perception influences how people accept you. So Ayatunde, let's take a look at what the popularity and perception of the map currently looks like. And the evidence shows that if we're talking about the popularity and perception of the APC based on what we've seen recently, the APC is currently at the strongest relative to even 2015. So after the 2015 elections, the APC had 24 governors, the PDP had 11. After the 2029 elections, 2015. So look at what happened after the 2023 elections. The APC had 20 governors. Now the APC has 25 governors, a bit of changes on the top. So overall, what we see is that the APC is significantly getting stronger across the political map in the country.
And of course, with the defections that we're also seeing from some PDP governors to the APC, which makes it, like you said, the popularity is indeed growing. But is it too early, to know what factors, will play out or will have the greatest influence, come 2027?
It's really not too early, especially if we actually stick to the facts, which I want us to do, because if we stick to the facts, it gives us an insight about what we most likely might see. And if we take a look at the chart of the week, it allows us to see the challenges for the opposition party and the opportunities for the ruling party. And these are the facts based on all the defections that have happened recently. At the moment, in the Northwest, APC has 5 governors. The PDP only has 1 governor in Zamfara State. In the Northeast, APC 3, PDP 3. PDP is currently just controlling Bauchi, Adamawa, Taraba. North Central, all APC apart from Plateau State. In the South-South, all APC apart from River State. In the Southeast, the PDP has no party. LP, that's Abia State, Abga in Anambra. In the Southwest, APC controlling 4 states. The PDP is only in Osun, and that's Osun and Oyo State. So overall, what we see is that the APC is significantly growing stronger across all the zones. But in the final analysis, what a lot of Nigerians are asking is there any way for the opposition? And the evidence shows that there's only one way to defeat President Tinubu, and that is at his own game. So take your time to ask, what game will the president pick? We'll discuss that next week.
We'll leave it at that. Many thanks, Babaji Deguson, for your analysis again on the News at 10.
The pleasure is all mine.
The University of Lagos Alumni Association has celebrated its 55th anniversary with a grand dinner and awards night held in Lagos. Now, the event recognized and honored distinguished Nigerians and outstanding alumni of the university with prestigious Lifetime Achievement Awards for their contributions to society and the university community. While speaking at the ceremony, the president of the association, Mr. Ifeoluwa Oyedele, described the anniversary as a remarkable milestone and a testament to the enduring legacy of the institution and its alumni network.
The University of Lagos Alumni Association marks its 55th anniversary in style with a spectacular dinner and award ceremony held in Lagos. The highly anticipated event celebrates decades of alumni impact and institutional support, bringing together political, business, and academic leaders. In an enthusiastic remark, President of the UNILAG Alumni Association Worldwide, Mr. Ifeoluwa Oyedele, lauds the association's steady growth and evolution over the years, announcing that key projects will commence on the university campus before the end of the year.
I hereby welcome you to this historic and epoch-making occasion, which is to celebrate and mark a significant milestone. The association has evolved over the years, went through various stages, and has been visible in the joint task of sharing our ideas in the continued progress of our alma mater. Among many achievements today, the Alumni Association has secured from the university a suitable land within the campus to erect a 1,800-bed student hostel. This will go a long way to ease student accommodation problems.
This is the best alumni association in the world. Why? Alumni associations have the duty to connect, to be our ambassador, to advocate, and to support the school. And I think on each of these, this alumni association gets 100%.
The evening features the presentation of awards to prominent individuals across 3 major categories: Alumni Lifetime Achievement Awards, Distinguished Alumni Awards, and the highest honor, the Alumni Lifetime Platinum Awards. The Chief Justice of Nigeria, Honorable Justice Kudirat Kekereekun, represented by her son Oye, receives the Alumni Lifetime Achievement Award in the public sector. In the private sector, honors go to the Ogoni Oja of Ijebuland, Olorogun Sani Kuku, Chairman, CEO of Channels Media Group, Dr. John Momo, and the Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Council, University of Lagos, Wole Olanipekun. The Lifetime Platinum Award are conferred on founder, CEO of Premier Lotto Limited, Chief Kensington Adebutu, represented by his son Ladi, Life Director of Folawiyo Group, Chief Tunde Fanimoko, and Senate Majority Leader, Senator Okoyemi Bamidele. Meanwhile, the Distinguished Alumni Awards spotlights outstanding personalities, including the former Governor of Gombe State, Senator Ibrahim Dankwabo, and Managing Director of Eleganza Fashion Products, Chief Folashade Okoya.
This is very highly regarded, and I'm flattered and humbled by the fact that they could pick me out to get a Lifetime Award.
It's a recognition that is distinct from other kind of recognitions. These are not political recognitions. These are from your colleagues, and these are from people who look at the society in totality and see the objectivity and how it is achieved. So I'm happy.
Since its establishment 55 years ago, the UNILAG Alumni Association stands as a pillar of support to the university, nurturing younger generations and inspiring countless acolytes who have passed through its walls.
Still ahead on the news at 10, NDLEA intercepts illicit drug consignment bound for the US, UK, and Democratic Republic of Congo. Please join us again. Welcome back. Some good news for the automobile industry. The Nigeria Automobile Technicians Association, NATA, has received a new building to serve as its national headquarters in Abuja. The building was donated by the management of Amasco Group of Companies, one of Nigeria's leading independent lubricant blending firms, as part of an ongoing partnership between the company and the association. The gesture, according to both parties, reflects their mutual commitment to strengthen collaboration, promoting capacity development, and advancing the automobile service industry in Nigeria.
Since its establishment in 1919 as one of Nigeria's earliest trade unions, the Nigeria Automobile Technicians Association has been operating from rented buildings across the country. Following a long-standing partnership with Amasco Group of Companies, the union has a permanent structure to itself. Along with the management of the company, the group general manager of Amasco Lubricant cuts the tape for the new headquarters. Beyond the building, the company plans to offer training and awareness campaigns for members of the union to improve their service delivery.
This moment represents something much deeper. It reflects the bond, the trust, and the long-standing partnership between Amasco and NATA. Together, we have weathered challenges, we have shared successes, and we have achieved great milestones.
We have been buying this engine oil for so many years. NATA has been existing for so many years. Correct. But nobody cares whether we are existing or we are not existing until one Amasco comes. Thank you.
After taking delivery of the keys and documents, the officials of the union speak on the impact of the building on their operations.
Amasco International not only take about production of the oil itself in different categories, but also they are also concerned about the management of the waste, which in partnership with Human Environment, we are also been training. They have been training also the mechanics to know exactly what they are also handling and the effects to the environment.
I want to tell you sincerely that Amasco has lived above all in respect of automobile field. They have been contributing, and I know he will continue to be contributing to the progress and development of automotive field.
The two bodies believe their partnership has improved vehicle safety as they commit to work towards producing eco-friendly lubricants for Nigerian vehicles.
In a renewed effort to sustain peace and protect critical oil installations across the Niger Delta, Tantita Security Services Nigeria Limited has been holding a series of stakeholder engagement meetings in Port Harcourt, River State and Warri, Delta State. The gatherings brought together traditional rulers, community leaders and key industry players, underscoring the importance of collaboration, security and community partnership in promoting stability and development in the region.
The fight against pipeline vandalism and oil theft in the Niger Delta remains a collective responsibility, one that requires active participation from all stakeholders. Recognizing this, Tantita Security Services Nigeria Limited hosted a stakeholder engagement and appreciation event in Port Harcourt as part of its non-kinetic strategy to promote peace and enhance security within its operational corridor.
The history of oil production in Niger Delta has been a painful one for many of our communities. It has meant in some cases the neglect of our communities and the violation of their rights. Until the recent model engineered by the management of NNPC, which gave Maton and Tantita the task of engaging host communities in the surveillance of critical hydrocarbon infrastructure, and also gave our communities a chance to be stakeholders in the protection of their God-given assets. That story has been painful, but now there's a change in the story. This collaboration has ensured that production is uninterrupted and the cases of vandalism has been reduced to the barest minimum.
Tantita's partners also expressed appreciation to local leaders for their sustained cooperation, pledging continued commitment to a community-driven approach to secure critical oil infrastructure.
Yes, we understand that true security goes beyond patrols and technology. It's about the people. We believe that when the people take ownership of development, peace becomes natural and progress becomes sustainable.
From Port Harcourt, the engagement train moved to Warri, Delta State, where a grand gathering brought together traditional rulers, community representatives, and industry partners from across the Niger Delta. The event featured goodwill messages from traditional leaders and federal lawmakers commending Tantita's proactive operations in safeguarding national assets.
Today, the Tantita Security Services has been able to practice what is called the global compact. That where the oil is found, that those on which land the oil is found needs to also have some benefits, so that after the exploitation, they should also have enough to receive from the federal government. Now, we have so much money to spend because the security services that is securing our pipeline have done so well. So, its pipelines are safe, the oil is flowing, so we can now sell, and there's so much money in our coffers to do so.
While appreciating its stakeholders, Tantita reaffirmed its unwavering commitment to protecting Nigeria's critical oil assets and fostering lasting peace across the region.
The journey has been long, but it has been very short as well. So that, however, we see more engagements years, we are going to commit ourselves to doing more for the communities, more for the stakeholders, and more for the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Tantita believes strongly that collaboration remains the cornerstone of peace and security in the Niger Delta, and that through continuous engagement and community partnership, it's strengthening trust, enhancing cooperation, and ensuring the protection of the nation's vital resources.
In Rivers State, the Hydrocarbon Pollution Remediation Project, HYPREP, has reaffirmed its commitment to collaborating with key stakeholders, including regulators and asset owners, to ensure the effective delivery of quality projects under the Ogoni Land Cleanup Program. The project coordinator of HYPREP made this known during the third quarter meeting with regulators and asset owners held in Port Harcourt, emphasizing the importance of sustained partnership and transparency in achieving the project's environmental restoration goals. Our correspondent, Deborah Agbalama, tells us more.
Stakeholders from regulatory agencies and asset-owning companies converged in Port Harcourt, the River State capital, for the third quarter key regulators and asset owners meeting organized by the Hydrocarbon Pollution Remediation Project, HYPREP. The gathering serves as a platform to review progress, strengthen transparency, and deepen collaboration in the ongoing Ogoni cleanup project. Project coordinator of HYPREP, Professor Nene Barini Zabe, says the forum reaffirms HYPREP's commitment to environmental restoration and sustainable development through continuous stakeholders' engagement.
More importantly, it is designed to catalyze deeper collaboration and synergy between HYPREP and its key regulatory stakeholders, including the Federal Ministry of Environment, NUPROC, NOSDRA, the River State Ministries of Health, Environment, Power and Water Resources, the Federal Ministry of Environment, Renaissance, and civil society organizations such as SDN, SEG, SUAYA, and APHIS. Pleased to be in.
Participants at the meeting commended HYPREP for the progress recorded so far, pledging continued support to sustain the gains of the cleanup project.
So we want to say thank you that you are able to make out time to let people know what we are doing, because a lot of people don't actually know what is happening there. And it's always good to have stakeholders come together so that we can brief them.
Speaking with journalists shortly after the event, Professor Zabe highlighted notable progress in the remediation of hydrocarbon-impacted sites, mangrove restoration, livelihood empowerment, public health interventions, and the provision of potable water across Ogoni communities. He also announced that 3 additional water schemes in Bane, Gwara, and Kedere are expected to be commissioned before the end of the year. The HYPREP coordinator further revealed that the Technical Planning Committee for the proposed 100-bed Ogoni Specialist Hospital, led by Professor Christy Matto, has concluded its report to guide the next phase of implementation.
In designing the projects, in implementing the projects, in monitoring and aftercare, we ensure that quality assurance and quality control is taken seriously, and we ensure that there is international best practice.
With renewed commitment to collaboration and accountability, HYPREP says it remains focused on restoring the Ogoni environment and improving the quality of lives for residents in affected communities. Deborah Balama, Channels Television News.
Meanwhile, the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, in partnership with the Niger Delta Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Trade, Mines and Agriculture, has disbursed 1.5 billion naira to small business owners across the Niger Delta region. The initiative is designed to empower over 1,500 entrepreneurs and stimulate economic growth across the 9 oil-producing states as part of ongoing efforts to promote sustainable development and job creation in the region.
Gathered here in Port Harcourt, the River State's capital, are beneficiaries of the first batch of a 1.5 billion naira low-interest loan targeted at nano, micro, small and medium-scale entrepreneurs across the Niger Delta region. The investment partnership scheme is an initiative of the Niger Delta Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Trade, Mines and Agriculture in collaboration with its key financier, the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC. Under the scheme, nano entrepreneurs will receive 200,000 naira each, while micro, small, and medium-scale business owners are to access 3 million naira, 7 million naira, and 20 million naira respectively, all to enhance business growth and sustainability.
Where else can you get a loan that is priced all in at 9%? Which means that on a monthly basis you are paying about 0.6. It doesn't happen. There are people who are collecting loans from microfinance banks and other banks at 15% per month. And if you analyze it, you understand what we are talking about. So for this investment to be priced at 0.6%, this is a manna from heaven. I don't know how else to pray. So let us take this seriously.
According to the NDDC, the soft loan comes with a 3-month moratorium and a 0.6% monthly repayment rate, a structure designed to stimulate the region's economy and reduce poverty among residents.
NDDC was established to facilitate rapid development, to improve the economy, to make sure that there is growth in the Niger Delta region. And over the years, it has taken different steps to get to this point. We have attempted different schemes to make sure that everybody in the Niger Delta have access to be able to grow their businesses, run their enterprises. It has been a challenge, but since the SITMA was created 2 years ago, we have seen that this is the best step forward and the best foot forward of NDDC. We are making a difference.
Some of the beneficiaries say the intervention will make a significant difference in their businesses and livelihoods.
I was really looking for money to empower my business. But by the grace of God, the Niger Delta program has really empowered me. And I'm happy. I'm so happy. And I pray that this program continues.
The Niger Delta Chamber of Commerce says profiling and mentorship for the second batch of beneficiaries are ongoing, with another 2 billion naira expected to be disbursed soon.
Enforcement agency, the NDLEA, at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, have intercepted multiple consignments of illicit drugs concealed in frozen snails, electrical bulbs, and female clothing destined for the United States, United Kingdom, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. According to a statement signed by the NDLEA Director of Media and Advocacy, Mr. Femi Babafemi, 2 suspects linked to the smuggling attempts have been arrested and taken into custody. One of the suspects, Bola Dale Rilwan, a cargo agent, was apprehended on October the 7th after 15 parcels of skunk were found concealed in 10 giant rechargeable electrical bulbs he had presented for air freight to the DRC at the airport's export shed. Another suspect, the 48-year-old Olawale Oyebola Hakimat, a UK-based public health assistant, was arrested on Sunday, October the 12th, at the departure hall of Terminal 2 after NDLEA officers discovered 2,300 pills of tramadol, 225 milligrams, hidden inside frozen snails in her luggage while she was preparing to board a Qatar Airways flight to Manchester in the United Kingdom. And now to sports news, where the NPFL champions Remo Stars now face a tough task of advancing to the group stages of the CAF Champions League as the Sky Blue Stars lost 5-1 to South Africa's Mamelodi Sundowns in the first leg of their second preliminary round played at the MK Abiola Sports Centre in Abeokuta earlier today. Matthews Tashreeq silenced the home team in the 12th minute of the game. Peter Shalulile made it 2 with 3 minutes left on the first half. Miguel Rezinho and Arthur Sales made it 4 on resumption of the second half. Samson Olashokwa pulled one back, but it was not enough as the South Africans again increased their tally to 5. Remo Stars will travel to South Africa for the return leg on Sunday, needing at least 6 unreplied goals to stand any chance of advancing to the group phase of the continent's biggest club competition. Ikorodu City beat league leaders Nasarawa United 2-0 on the match day 9 of the Nigeria Professional Football League played this evening at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena in Onikon in Lagos. The Lafayette-based team, however, stayed top despite their loss with 19 points from 9 league games. They are now closely trailed by Shooting Stars of Ibadan, who defeated Abia Warriors 2-0. The Oluyole Warriors are on 15 points. Warri Wolves picked a surprise away win in Aba, stunning NPFL most decorated team Enyimba 2-1. Niger Tornadoes are the biggest winners in today's fixtures following a 4-0 thrashing of Plateau United. The newcomers Barrow FC fought from a goal down to beat Kano Pillars 2-1, while Kun Khalifat picked another surprise away win in Yanagwa against Bayelsa United. In England, Manchester United condemned Liverpool to a fourth successive defeat as Harry Maguire's late goal sealed a 2-1 win over the spluttering Premier League champions this evening. After losses against Crystal Palace, Galatasaray and Chelsea, Onslaught side endured their most painful setback of the season at the hands of their bitter rivals. Brian Mbeumo put United in front after 2 minutes, and although Cody Gakpo equalized in the 78th minute, Maguire secured his club's first win at Anfield since 2016 with an 84th minute header. Morgan Rogers and Emiliano Buendia inspired Aston Villa's fight back to win 2-1 against Tottenham Hotspur as the North Londoners suffered more misery on their home turf. And the tennis, Daniel Medvedev has won his first title in 2 years, defeating Frenchman Corentin Moutet 7-5, 4-6.
Runner-up, Corentin Moutet, France, and winner, Daniel Medvedev.
Canada's Leila Fernandez beat Czech teenager Teresa Valentova 6-love, 5-7, 6-3 to win the Japan Open to clinch her second WTA title of the year. The world number 27 added to her victory at the DC Open in Washington in July by seeing off qualifier Valentova in Osaka. Fernandez paid tribute to beaten opponent Valentova, who was playing in her first WTA final at the age of 18.
Well, that is how to save championship point.
Game, Sadamat Fernandez.
Title number 5 for Leila Fernandez. The new champion in Osaka, defeating the talented teenager to win her second title of the year. After a blistering start, it got tricky. And she becomes the first Canadian winner of this tournament. And takes the applause.
Spain's Raul Fernandez surged to a maiden MotoGP victory in Australia, while Alex Marquez finished fourth to show up his bid to finish the season second in the World Championship. On an overcast day at the Phillip Island, the Aprilia rider benefited from 2 long lap penalties served by a flying Marco Bezzecchi to take the checkered flag 1.418 seconds clear of Ducati's Fabio Di Gianantonio. Aprilia's Bezzecchi, who won the 13-lap sprint on Saturday, came third to fill out the podium.
Loves that attack going through turn 8, doesn't he? That's an absolute class manoeuvre that by Di Gianantonio. Alex just looks like he might be dropping back into the clutches of Bez here. Bez, this still might be on for a podium rescue after his 2 long laps. Bezzecchi, he's coming down the hill into turn 10. There's nothing that Alex can do about that. Marco Bezzecchi then does indeed dive to the inside of Alex Marquez to take the final place on the podium. This has been some salvage mission by Bez.
There are few better places than Phillip Island to take any MotoGP victory, but the first MotoGP victory, always the most special, and Raul Fernandez can reach out and touch it.
After Fermin Aldeguer took his first MotoGP success last time out in Manilika, we have another first-time winner in MotoGP, and it is the phenomenal Raul Fernandez in Phillip Island who wins the Australian Grand Prix for Trackhouse Aprilia. What a moment for Fernandez, what a moment for the American team as they take their first ever MotoGP victory.
Away from sports and onto foreign news, Nigeria's former Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo has been appointed to lead an ECOWAS election observer team to Côte d'Ivoire, which is scheduled for October the 25th this year. A statement from the Commission says the observer team is being deployed today, Sunday, October the 19th, in line with the provisions of the ECOWAS Supplementary Protocol on Democracy and Good Governance. As head of mission, Professor Osinbajo will lead a team of eminent West Africans tasked with engaging key national stakeholders to support a peaceful and credible electoral process, fostering cooperation with other international and domestic observer groups, and assessing the conduct of the polls. The deployment of this observation mission underscores ECOWAS's unwavering commitments to promoting peace, stability, and credible elections in the sub-region. Israel has carried out a wave of strikes on southern Gaza after the IDF and Hamas accused each other of breaching the first phase of the ceasefire. Local sources say Israeli airstrike on the town of Al-Zaweda in central Gaza killed 6 members of Hamas's Al-Qassam brigade, including Yahya al-Mabu, the commander of the elite unit in the Jabaliya battalion. The IDF earlier today said Hamas fired an anti-tank missile and gunfire toward IDF troops near Rafah, but the militant group says it's unaware of any clashes there. Hamas has said Israel continues to breach the agreement, while the IDF says the alleged attack by Hamas is a bold violation of the ceasefire. And the main news again. The police has warned organizers of the hashtag Free Nnamdi Kanu Now protest against potential violence, as Omoyele Sowore insists demonstration will go ahead as planned. The Chinese government has commended the DSS, the Office of the National Security Advisor, and the military for rescuing 4 abducted citizens. And that's the news at 10 tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. Do have a good night.